to remind old Travis to record. All right, here we go. Share. And booyah. Here we go. I'm so happy that you're with us today. Again, my name's Travis Martin, and I've lost over 100 pounds on the program. It's changed my life. I've been doing it for years, not just a little while. I dealt with obesity for years. I dealt with the unintended consequences of obesity for years. I dealt with the prescription medications for years. But blessed be the name of the Lord, and thankful for the Holy Spirit and Holy Spirit self-discipline. I changed my life, and it's improved, and you can do the same. All right. Top 25 weight loss foods. Let's get started. You know I'm always going to start with a refresher. Is there a reason to do this? As the Bible might ask, is there a cause? Is there a cause? Yes, there's a cause today. Yes, there's a cause. Look at this slide. I want you to pay attention to this slide, if you will. Stop robbing your present self of your future self. Stop robbing your present self of your future self. Every time that you choose instant gratification, every time that you choose mouth pleasure, now you always regret it afterwards. You always do, unless you're eating because it's an anniversary, a birthday, some special event, when you binge eat or eat the wrong foods, the poisonous ones, you always experience and feel regret afterwards. Always. Every time you choose a little mouth pleasure, 5 seconds of pleasure, and you get the guilt and the regret, you are robbing yourself of your future self, your future happiness, and your future potential. I want you to imagine the consequences. Here's the problem. When we eat those foods that are bad for us, we are imagining the instantaneous pleasure. We are imagining the temporary pleasure that said food gives us. We're imagining the smell, the taste, all that stuff. We know it comes with regret, but we get caught up with thinking, because as we think, so we act, and as we repeatedly act, those become our habits. You're imagining these terrible, terrible foods and the instant gratification that they give you rather than their painful consequences. Every time that you have a holiday, or we should call it a blow-it day, you've had more than your allotted holidays that the program allows for in a given month. Every time you do that, you're actually causing great pain. You're robbing yourself of your future happiness. You must begin to imagine the painful consequences. If you're making wrong choices all the time, it's because you are refusing to imagine the painful unintended consequences that are coming. See, if you keep eating like this and you keep doing like this, you get a little payday every time, right? But the real bad payday's coming. You always get a little regret and a little pain, but it's going to get worse. Payday's going to come down the line. You're going to pay for it, one way or the other. One way or the other, you're going to pay for this pain, or you're going to pay for the consequences of your actions. You've got to imagine not just the pleasurable consequences of these foods you're eating that are causing you a problem, or the portions you're eating that are causing you a problem. You have to really think through the great pain that's coming. But what we need to do is begin to imagine the fruits of our effort, the fruits of self-discipline. That's what we need to begin to think on. That's why I journal. It keeps me from being distracted by the noise of the world and my imagination. I get focused on, hey, if I put in the effort, I can really imagine and visualize what my life is going to be like, the improvements in my life. I can really imagine that if I just put forth the effort. I'm doing things today that I wouldn't have done when I was overweight. The beach, salsa dancing, martial arts. I'm doing things and putting more into it, more effort into it than I would have done when I was overweight. I just did not feel good about myself. So I stopped robbing myself of my future self by making those bad decisions. There's very painful consequences to our actions if we don't live our life with self-discipline. There's very great rewards to self-discipline, terrific ones if we'll live with self-discipline. The pain of daily self-discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs a ton. Let me give it to you this way. Every time you choose a poisonous, terrible food or the wrong portion, you're choosing instant gratification. Amen? That's what you're choosing. You're choosing to pamper yourself with something that's actually hurtful. You're choosing to pamper yourself with something that's going to cause pain now and more pain down the line. That's like saying, I'm going to give you $5. Got somebody in North Georgia with us. Love it. Stick with it. Stick with it. Got a journal, Linda. You've heard me preach it for years. Got a journal. If you bite it, you write it, you hog it, you log it, you nibble it, you scribble it, you drink it, you ink it. So you got instant gratification. So I choose example. I got a bag of Doritos and my mind is distracted and I get into the bag of Doritos and I lick it. And after the lick goes the crunch, after the crunch goes the bag. I got some instant gratification with that. Now I feel bloated. I feel the water retention. I know I've had too many calories. I've shot my blood sugar through the roof. The pancreas has dumped insulin into my system. Now I can't lose fat for a few days. Terrible feeling. It was like somebody saying, if you'll eat this chip, I'll give you $5. If you won't eat this chip, down the line, I'll give you, a week from now, I'll give you $10. 6 weeks from now, I'll give you $1,000. 6 months from now, I'll give you $10,000. In other words, if I avoid the instant gratification, it's like exchanging, even in a few days, exchanging $5 for $10. If I continue on with self-discipline, it's like, okay, I didn't get the $5 of instant gratification, but I kept going for 6 weeks. It's like getting $1,000. Who in their right mind would give up the opportunity to have $1,000 in 6 weeks for $5 now? That don't make any sense. Who in the world would give up? If you live with self-discipline for 6 months, get your life back, that's like getting $10,000 and giving up $5. Who in their right mind wouldn't give up $5 for $10,000 in 6 months? We're making some terrible decisions. We're making terrible decisions, and that's what's got us in this predicament. But we've got a plan. We've got a plan that if we'll stick to it, it's going to give us not just a better body, better spirit, better mind, body, and soul. And the plan gives us strategies on how to eat good foods that help promote fat loss and how to modify our behaviors. Let's look at our weight chart. We like to do this. Like to get you focused on where you should be. So let's look at this chart real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Hopefully you're pretty good with math. And if you're not, just bear with me. So I'm 6'2". See the height column? I'm 6'2". I'm 47. 6'2", 47 years old. Says I should be between 164 and 210. I like this broad range. Now, here's the way I say you should do it. Men, you should be in the middle of the range forward. In other words, I should be roughly around 185 to 216. Women, if you're 6'3", you should be 168 to 185, in that range. Let's look at a 5'4" woman that's 50 years old. 5'4" says you should be 122 to 157. Women should start on the low part of the range and work to the middle. Excuse me. Got these allergies going on. So you should be 122 to 140. 122 to 140, 145. ladies, if you can get there, your life changes, your health improves. So find where you need to be in that range and make that a priority right now. If you don't know the Lord Jesus, make that a priority. And this will help you find him. Because one of the reasons you ain't found him is you don't love yourself like you ought to love yourself. Then you just trust Jesus to take care of you, right? So make that a priority. Second, if you already know the Lord Jesus, it's not just something you ought to do, darling. It's not something you just ought to do. You ought to lose weight. No. If you've already found Jesus, it ought to be your duty and obligation to reach this goal weight. It ought to be, listen to what I said. I said it ought to be your duty and your obligation to get to this ideal weight or in the range of it. Your duty and obligation. If you believe in Jesus, you are him here now, right? In other words, he went back to be with the Father. He sent the Comforter to live inside of you. Who's going to do the work? Who's going to teach people to love God and to love your neighbor as you love yourself? If you don't feel good and you got the mully grubs and you going around all the time, man, life thinks it's so hard, it's terrible. How in the world are you going to spread love on this planet? You're not going. It ought to be your duty and obligation to find the right range. Age matters, Linda, because a couple of things. As we age, we need more body fat. We need more body fat, not less. Okay? Now, don't use that as an excuse to be obese. You should be in that range. But as we age, we need a little more body fat, and hopefully we'll retain more muscle. Things change when you age. Holly says, I'm guessing I should be 93 to 124. I'm 4'11", age 32. Let's look and see. Yeah, that's right where you should be. Perfect. That's a good, it doesn't have to be exact. All right, so let's move on. Let's look at our shield real quick. The plan we teach is simple, isn't it, everybody? It's so simple. Here we have rules. We're all free moral agents. Part of the problem is ain't nobody going to make you do it. Don't nobody love you enough to make you do this. What? I'm just telling you like it is. Bible says ain't nobody ever lived that has not loved themselves. Listen, everybody loves themselves. They're going to do what they're going to do. They don't love. I literally get emails, and if I were to interpret it saying, Travis, please love me enough to smack this out of my hand every time I eat it. If you don't love you enough to do that, why should I love you enough to do that? Ain't nobody going to do this for you. The quicker you figure that out, there ain't no miracle pill coming, ain't no miracle shot coming, ain't no miracle herb coming. It's just going to take Holy Spirit self-discipline. And you loving yourself enough to do it, and you loving yourself enough to submit to some rules. It's like driving down the road. It amazes me there's not more accidents, because all that's keeping cars in a lane is a painted line, little painted lines. Couldn't stop a car for nothing. But we know to stay between those lines. And we don't get mad at the lines that we got to stay between the lines. People tell me all the time, well, if you tell me I can't have it, I'm going to have it. I ain't going to tell you can't have it. If you want, you get one life. If you want to live it this way, go on and live it this way. If you want to be overweight and you just want to enjoy food and you don't care about all that other stuff and you just love food that much, it's not my job to tell you how to live. I'm just saying if you don't want to live that way, I got a plan that works, and it works for everybody. So don't be talking like that. That's an excuse. People tell me what to do, and I'm just not going to do it because I'm rebellious. If you tell me I need to lose weight, then I'm not going to lose weight. Well, go on and be self-destructive. But if you want to lose weight, here's the lines on the road. Here's the lines on the road. And you got to decide if you're going to, you ain't got to obey. You have to submit willingly to the lines on the road. And look, it ain't like it's a hard road to drive. This is easy. This is easy stuff. Number one rule. We drink a half a gallon to a gallon of water a day. Number 2 rule, we journal. If we bite it, we write it, we hog it, we like it, we nibble it, we scribble it, we drink it, we ink it. If you're not going to journal, you heard Linda, she said, raised her hand. She said, I'm being my own accuser. I don't journal. I can tell Linda, I can hug Linda's neck and tell her, honey, I love you. You're like a family member to me, but you ain't never going to lose weight. And notice I said, and keep it off without a journal. If you're a food addict, you've had a weight problem, a journal is a requirement. You will never, ever be successful long-term without a food journal. You say, well, I know somebody who lost a lot of weight and they don't journal. It's not the norm. You have to have things in place that help you maintain a right relationship with yourself and food, and a journal is one of them. You have to eat in the right food combinations. Very important to control insulin. Number 4 rule, portion. You got a portion. It don't matter how dense in nutrients these foods are, you can overeat anything. So you got to control your portions. We have 3 meals a day and up to 1 snack a day and freebies. And you got to time your meals right. That's just saying, don't keep shoveling food in your mouth when you've had enough food. You know, you eat the right portion, then you give it 4 to 6 hours before you eat again. You can have a snack anytime. Now, that is the lifestyle. Is this a practical, sustainable lifestyle? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. This is something that anybody can do. You mean I got to live that every day? No. If you're in the weight loss mode, you can have 6 days a month where you eat one meal a day that's not approved. We call it, not 1 meal a day. You can have a Holly meal. In other words, you can have up to 6 Holly meals in a month, or you can have 6 hog trough days a month. But all your other days, you have to follow the shield. It amazes me with all the success, not a new person. I know a new person comes, they're kind of tainted because the world's deceived them, and they're looking for us to deceive them. We won't. But what does amaze me is the people that's been around so long and seen all the great results, they won't follow the rules. They won't follow the rules. You see the success, and it's so easy to do. And you get 6 holidays a month where you can eat anything you want as long as all the other days are perfect according to our shield. If you're new here, everything, I feel like the reason the Lord blesses the program, everything here is biblically inspired, even the little shield. The Bible talks about the spiritual armor, right? Helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness. My loins shod, my loins girt about with the truth, my feet shod with the preparation of the gospel and the sword of the Spirit. Well, we've got that right here. We just pattern everything out. That's what keeps us protected, right? Spiritual armor. Well, here on planet Shibboleth, we got this little natural armor. And if you'll live this lifestyle, man, you'll lose the weight, keep it off forever. Now, once you get to your ideal weight, as long as you don't go crazy with it, you can have up to 12 holidays a month. Think about that. That's all. Yes, a food tracker is similar. Yes, that's almost half the month once you reach your ideal weight. I will caution some of you that are in maintenance. Anytime I start allowing myself to have 12 holidays a month, I start developing a few bad habits again. So I don't like to do that, even though you could. Because it seems 12 begins to turn into 13, 14, 15. But the point is you can. Why do we have to eat in these food combinations? It's very important. When you don't eat in right food combinations, even if you're eating very small portions, if those very small portions are sugar and starch laden, then your blood sugar elevates too much. We get too much of a release of insulin from the pancreas. We call insulin the fat bus. Your appetite goes up, fat storage takes place, and efficient fat burning stops for up to 2 days. That's why after one holiday, it takes 2 days for your chart to show that you're back in efficient fat burning. Shows the fire, right, in your weekly timing chart online. Takes 2 days to get back there, if you provoke the fat bus. So why would we want to do that? We don't want to do that. We want to maintain most of our month in efficient fat burning mode. The fat bus also destroys mitochondria, making it more and more difficult to lose weight the longer you live an improper lifestyle. Now, it's never too late to lose weight, and as long as you're living and breathing, you'll never destroy so much mitochondria that you can't lose weight. However, you are making losing weight much, much, much more difficult for yourself the longer you live a food addiction lifestyle. Weight loss expectations. Deal with this one every day. I deal with it there's not a day that goes by I don't have to talk somebody off the ledge. Yeah, it's a shame. Diet Devil gets a lot of people right there. They just not losing enough, losing fast enough. Somebody lost more than them. I got news for you. Some of them that lose 10 pounds in a week put the same 10 pound back on the next week, and then you see them the next week and they lost 10 pounds again. You think, Lord, they've lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. No, they hadn't. They've taken it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. If you're going to live the lifestyle the right way, then your expectations should be this. If you're putting forth effort, I do not care who you are. I do not care about your physical limitations. We eat exercise on a plate here, and the fat's coming off. Month one, if you put forth effort, have 6 or less holidays in a month, you're going to lose in your first month or your restart month, you're going to lose 5 to 10% of your body weight. That means a 300-pound person is going to lose 15 to 30 with ease. Month 2 onward, as you're depleting, you're now becoming that person you want to be, smaller version of the old self. You're coming on down. You're going to lose 0.5% up to 1%. 0.5% up to 1%. In other words, you're 300 pounds and you've lost 30 in month 1. You're now 270. You're going to lose somewhere between 2 and 2.7 pounds that week. More or less, yes, but this will be your average over your journey. I've got all the data to back it up, and it fails not. So that should be your expectation. You should not pout if you're 140 pounds and you only lost 0.75 pound after a week of effort. That's the journey, and it's fast. We'll fix it, Debbie. We'll fix it. You just have to provide a willing, wanting heart. Debbie says, it embarrasses me to be so out of control with my eating. Let me stop this and answer some questions. We're getting into the top 25 foods now. Questions or comments? Somebody, male, it may be Melvin. I can't tell if it's Melvin or Melanie. The shield to life, a healthy life, a restored life, a life fulfilled with food and discipline. It's proper pace, water, 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 every there, and it's there for you to drink. Everywhere, and it's there for you to drink. Good stuff. Yes, you can watch, if you got to go, you can watch the 25 top weight loss foods in the video library, and you're in Zoom, so it will also be emailed to you. Good stuff. Any questions before we move forward? That was a quick review. Now we're getting into the top 25 foods. Any questions? We've got 100. I'm so happy today. Y'all have made my day. 100, almost 170 people between the two platforms watching. God bless you for coming today. What happens when you get up early in the morning and you're not hungry? You don't eat, and it's still a perfect day. Many mornings, I just have a bio coffee. So you listen to your body. Don't skip. I'm talking to my daughter if she's out there anywhere. She's probably teaching somewhere. Don't skip meals to lose weight faster. That's wrong. Only skip meals because you're not hungry. This person has it right. If I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. You mean you would? What if you're not hungry? Meal 2, I don't eat. I eat when I'm hungry if I still have rations that I haven't used for the day. I get 3 meals a day. So good stuff. Travis, you have made my days for the last week. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Y'all have made mine today. This good outpouring of love here. It's so good to have everybody. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody. Yes, that's Amanda says, I believe it's Amanda, if I skip to lose faster, I binge later. It negates the effort. Yes. Preaching to my daughter too right now. Y'all preach to her too. She don't listen to daddy. A prophet has no honor in their own country. That's why your family members don't do this program with you like you want them to. Sometimes they do because they can't deny the success. But a prophet has no honor in their own country. I only skip meals because I'm not hungry. I don't want it. And that don't mean I can double up later. No. I still stick to my shield. Sherry says, Melissa loves intermittent fasting. Sherry says, praise report, I joined 3.5 weeks ago, lost 9.5 pounds, but the best news is husband has dialed back insulin dose 4 times. Now, that's what we're talking about. Bless the name of the living God. Bless the name of the living God. God is good, Yvonne. God is good. God did this. I'm humbled to be a little part of it. I really am. I don't know. It's hard to even come on here and act like I got any confidence about the program because every good thing that's happened with this program, it's about God. God's so good, y'all. He's so good. Belinda, Belinda Cox says, I seen where you can have seconds 4 to 6 hours later. No, that was me having a good time in class. I try to help people look at things differently. You get 3 meals a day. So what I was saying, if you're able to watch that video, it was more of a funny way to look at things. Because people will say, I had a perfect meal for lunch. Can I have seconds? It was chicken, broccoli, and corn. Perfect combination. Can I have seconds? And I go, yeah, because I know if you tell people no, makes them want it more. So I say, yeah, you can have seconds 4 to 6 hours later. That is to say, your next meal. You only get 3 meals a day. No seconds, no grazing. We're not livestock. So I hope that makes sense. That's what my point in that video was, that you can't have seconds. But don't tell yourself you can't have it. Say, yeah, I can have it 4 to 6 hours later. Because if it was good at lunch, it'd be good for dinner, right? My vitamin D levels are low. I have a level of 17, supposed to be at 30. Any high vitamin D recommendation of foods? Yeah, just stick to the program. Just stick to the program. Most of your category 2 vegetables are going to have higher levels of vitamin D than even milk. But you want to stick to the program. Just eat from those best categories that we're about to go over. Just eat and take you a supplement, vitamin D3, and get out in the sun. People are scared to death of the sun, but you need to get about 15, 20 minutes of sun exposure every day. That will help too. All right. I'm afraid if I don't eat, then I will starve later and get nausea and feel sick. Well, in the beginning, you probably would, because your body's going to crave sugar. Your body's sugar addicted. But I'm going to tell you something. It might hurt your feelings. I don't know. I don't have a picture of you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody. That whole starvation mode thing is a big old falsehood. It's a myth. Look, if you think you're starving, get naked, go look in the mirror and jump up and down. All that extra stuff that's jiggling and itching is energy. Food is energy. So is stored fat. So the reason your body is making you nauseous and not tapping into the stored fat, 3,500 calories of energy, units of energy in 1 pound of stored fat. The reason your body's saying, oh, I don't want to work hard to access the stored energy on my body. Please just feed me sugar and starch. But if you will get through that time with consistent, perfect days, your body will go through these withdrawals, but then go through a time of euphoria, because your body's like, stored fat is such a better energy source, more lasting energy source. I can seemingly go all day because my body accesses stored fat as a fuel source. It used to not be that way. You just have to persevere with those perfect days. Travis, I'm having trouble cutting out my snacks and I'm weak. Well, good news. Good news. On planet Shibboleth, you're not supposed to have a snack unless you have mental cravings. Okay? So the first thing that I do is I look at my goals and my vision board. Do I want the snack or do I want my highest and best self? Do I want $5 or do I want $5,000? Up to me. Then if I say, well, right now, I just really need a snack, then I ask myself, what am I craving? Something sweet, something salty, or both? And then I know what to go have. If it's something salty, I know what void replacements on the planet I can have that don't cause a fat bust. If it's something sweet, I've got sweet things that I can get to. Everything from chocolate, approved chocolate bars, approved cinnamon rolls type void replacement, you name it, we've got it. But now you can only have one a day. If you're saying, but I need to snack and graze all day, then you have to have a come to Jesus with yourself and say, do I just want to go on and give myself over to food, or do I want to begin to exercise self-discipline and get out of this mess? Because you can't have more than that, and you can't have your cake and eat it too that way or to that degree. The reason people don't have self-discipline anymore is because they don't realize self-discipline is a muscle. And in order for you to personally develop and have more and more self-discipline, you must exercise it. And that muscle will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And you won't want snacks. I don't want snacks. Just a thought. We'll get back at the end of this to the questions. Any questions you have in overtime. Let me get to our list right now. Got some people got to go. All right. Top 25 foods. Now, here's the only way I knew to do it. Here's the only way I knew to do it. And that was to do it by Shibboleth terminology, Shibboleth category 1. I could give these in a different type format, but I thought it made the most sense to give these to you in Shibboleth terminology. So we're going to start with protein, lean protein category 1. If you look at a combination chart, literally some of you today could have a restart Monday morning. Some of you today could prepare today and tomorrow and have a restart Monday morning with these foods I'm about to go over, if you understand food combining and portion control. But today we're just going over the top 25 weight loss foods. Now, we could debate this all day. I just had to pick. Is number 4 going to be as good as number 2? Probably. But I just had to pick. So I picked the top 3 from each category. Could a tomato be healthier than a onion? We could debate that. Okay, we could debate that. Could a tomato and an onion, which is not on this list, be better for you than some foods that are on the list from a health standpoint? Could be. But we didn't choose the top 3 for health and wellness. These are all fine for health and wellness. We chose the top 3 that would be the best combination of weight loss and wellness. Number 1, egg whites. A whole egg is better from a health and wellness standpoint than an egg white. But when it comes to weight loss, you cannot beat this food. You're never going to look in the mirror and say, Lord have mercy, I got to back away from eating egg whites. In fact, these are not listed as a freebie, but if I get really hungry, I get an egg white, I boil some eggs, peel the egg white off, and I'll put a little Morton Light salt on them or a little sea salt, and I'll eat that, and it's not going to cause me a problemo. egg whites would be the #1 lean protein for weight loss. Fish. Could I have chosen just one fish? Certainly. You could choose mackerel. You can make a case for salmon. You can make a case for sardines. You can make a case for cod. But I just put fish. This food is easy to digest, full of amino acids. And after all, the Lord Jesus Christ brought him some fish on the shore and ate it with his disciples. So that sounds good to me. What about y'all? So egg whites, fish, and hemp flakes. Yes, hemp flakes is a category 1+2, but since it is a 1, I put it here. You could take these foods. Now listen, I'm not suggesting you do this. You might want to make you a challenge out of this, though, for one day to get you self-disciplined. Now, Lord have mercy, I'm telling you, if you were to do this, if you weighed, if you've lost focus and you want to do a fast, declare a fast unto the Lord, you could literally, if you're new here now, I'm not telling you got to do this. Is not our lifestyle. We eat ice cream and all kind of stuff on this program. But Lord have mercy, I could take scrambled egg whites for breakfast and eat unto the Lord. And I could take 4 to 6 ounces of cod fish with some hemp flakes on it, cooked in my MCT oil at lunch, and then have some salmon with hemp flakes on it for dinner. And I could do that for 3 days unto the Lord, or just eat a little broiled fish with the Lord, for 3 days. Do it unto the Lord. And you'll start to break old habits, my friend. You will drop so much weight in 3 days, it will blow your ever-living mind if that's all you have. These are weight loss promoting foods. These are exercise on a plate foods. Amazing foods. Those are the top 3. Category 2. Remember, you can always have a 1 plus a 2. #1, broccoli. Exercise on a stalk. Has such a high thermic effect that you're going to burn these calories up that's in the broccoli just through digestion. You're going to increase your metabolism. You're eating good fiber, insoluble, soluble fibers. It's going to push the waste out that might be holding you back, not allowing your liver to detox. Now, it might cause you a little bloat early on because so much of it is insoluble roughage, but by the time it goes through the digestive tract and cleans you out, no wonder it looks like a mop. So exercise on the stalk. Spinach. No wonder Popeye told us to eat our spinach. You can't ask for a better vegetable than spinach. One of the things I love to do is when I do intermittent fasting, I love to take all day long, I'll have nothing but soup and salad. And I love doing it. It's tasty. But I'll have a big spinach or kale salad, a big old salad with hemp hearts and hemp flakes on it, approved dressing, some fat-free feta cheese, and I just go to town on them. Brussels sprouts. Man, I love some Brussels. Now, these ain't the only vegetables, right? But this is the name of the class, is the top 25. We just went through the top 6. In other words, if you go to the island, how can a new person say this is hard? If you go to the island and you understand, you got 1s and 2s and 4s and 2s, and you know the little combinations, and you know that you just got to put it on a portion plate, and these are filling foods, and I can have the fish and the spinach, and I can have the fish and the Brussels sprouts. I can chop me up some broccoli and make me an egg white and broccoli omelet. Yes, I've done that. Now, there are other veggies, but I could go to the island, the Castaway Island, and just focus on these grocery items and lose weight so fast it will make your head spin. Category 3. Everybody's afraid of complex carbohydrates. You shouldn't be. #1, a good old carrot. A good old carrot. Them carrots, man, they're good for you. Baby carrots, long carrots, and carrots is good for you. Good for your vision. Hey, you ain't never going to eat so many carrots that you're going to have a problem. That's why I have carrots as an extra. I don't go overboard because they turn the sugar in your body, but it takes so long for them to turn the sugar in your body, you can't go wrong with a carrot. Carrots are good for you, right? I like to have them a little caramelized. That's when you need to definitely make sure that carrots, when they're caramelized, you want to make sure you've cooked them down and they're easier for the body to digest. Now your body can get to the sugar a little easier. You got to watch out for that fat bust. So we want to put them category 3 carrots. We want to put them with a 1 and a 2, right? Then we got sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. So now, we showed you that fish. So I have a piece of fish, pan-seared in my MCT oil. And then I have my Brussels. And then I have me a small portion of sweet potato. You ought not be afraid of that. You ought not. That's a category 1, 2, 3, and that's good for you. And then you got quinoa. Quinoa. So my top 3, and I'm gonna hit these again. Got a question over here. How about asparagus? It's terrific for you. It's terrific for you. But if you remember at the beginning of the class, instead of going over the 100 that you could have that are great, I just had a cutoff. So I just named the top 3 that I thought was the best combination of weight loss and wellness. So I looked at the benefits of Brussels, the vitamins, the nutrients. So that's why I picked them over asparagus. But is asparagus good for you? Yes. It's exercise on a stalk. You can certainly have asparagus. This isn't the regular program, right? This is just a class topic, the top 25. The top 25. You could certainly debate what's better, asparagus or broccoli. So I just chose what I feel is the most practical for most people. One of the reasons I didn't put asparagus on the list, usually when I put it on a top list, people go, but it makes you pee-pee stink. So I just had to have a cutoff. If I was going with the top 10, asparagus would certainly have been in there. Okay, the top 10 in that category. So let's look at carrots. A little advanced stuff here. I need to rewrite the description in the website. If you want to eat a raw carrot as an extra, if that helps you with appetite control, do so. But just remember, if you're cooking them down, you should only have them with a 1 and 2 because they become easier on digestion and your body can access the sugar quicker. And then you got sweet potatoes. You need a 1/4 cup if you're in the weight loss mode. If you can go up to a 1/2 cup, which is a medium-sized sweet potato. But just note that a 1/2 cup of sweet potato, you're getting into maintenance. One of the things better than a sweet potato that you can do in place of a sweet potato for weight loss is butternut squash and make it taste like a sweet potato with a little cinnamon and 0-calorie butter spray. But a sweet potato is not harmful. Best in weight loss when you go with a 1/4 cup. That'd be like a 1/2 of a medium one. And quinoa, it's not a grain. I don't like to see people eat grains in weight loss. Even though you can on our program, you're not going to lose weight quite as fast. But quinoa is not a grain, but it tastes like a grain. So it's a great rice substitute as long as you control your portion, 1/4 cup up to a 1/2 cup. And remember, you can have 1, 2s, 3s. You can have 7, 2, 3s. We just went through the 9 top 25 foods. Hope you're making a list. It's a good one. Category 4, whole eggs. It's hard to beat a whole egg. There's not many foods on planet Earth as wholesome as a whole egg. Now, it comes in and out of favor, but it's a great weight loss food. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That yolk is good for you. It's not bad for you. One year you hear it's bad. It'll cause bad cholesterol. One year you hear, the fat in a whole egg is so good for you. You better not throw that yolk away. Listen, when you eat it like we tell you to eat it in our program, a 1-4-2, a 4-2, a 7-4-2, when you're having it these ways, it's good for you. Many times, my only protein source on my salad, I love spinach salads, kale salads. Many times, all I'll have as a protein source is a couple of boiled eggs that I've chopped up. and I have eggs on my salad. I love eggs. They're so good for you. One of the most nutritious foods on the planet. They are a category 4 though, so you need to eat them accordingly. But they're so good for you, y'all. So good for you. Don't be afraid of a whole egg. That bad cholesterol that you're dealing with is not coming from the foods you eat. It's coming from your body producing more bad cholesterol because your body is always in a state of chronic inflammation because you're a food addict eating sugar and starch every single day. Lean grass-fed beef. I just started to just put beef, but I said no, I'm not going to do that because so much of our beef is shot up with hormones, and they're eating foods that have all these antibiotics in them. It causes problems. From a weight loss standpoint, not so much, but I'd prefer you go with 93% or less lean grass-fed beef. Any type, filet mignon, top round, whatever you like. Contrary to popular belief, eating the way we eat it here, it's good for you. Now, is it good for you to have this with a sweet potato? No. That's why we don't have a 4+3 combination. But if I'm going to have a filet mignon and some broccoli, you've got exercise on a plate. Keep your serving size somewhere between 2 and 6 ounces if you're a female, 2 to 8 ounces if you're a male. Yes, ma'am, Judith, you will have access to this video. Now, this next one, please understand, I got an asterisk by it. It's a cooking fat, but I really rake my brain. What would be, if we're talking about fats that are beneficial, and that's what I really want to talk about in a category 4, protein plus fat. When I started looking at the list, I thought there really is no good number 3. I would tell you MCT. It's not a category 4, it's a cooking fat. But medium chain triglycerides are wonderfully beneficial for you, and we recommend that you cook your foods, replace whatever your cooking oil is, replace it with MCT oil. Category 5, berries. Can't get better than a berry. Very low glycemic, any berry. If you really pushed me, I'd say the best one would be between blueberries and blackberries, but who cares? They're all great for you. Berries are terrific for you. They're a category 5 and should be eaten as such. And you'll lose weight if you eat them in a combination of a 1-2-5 or 7-2-5. For me, that looks like I've had my category 1 and 2. And then for dessert, I have berries. I have a category 5 mixed berries, and I'll put a condiment worth of fat-free Cool Whip on it. That's my dessert many times, many times. Very beneficial, full of antioxidants, full of good carbs, right? These are good for you. A grapefruit, hard to beat a grapefruit. In fact, if you have an egg white omelet in the morning, having a half of a grapefruit with it, that's a 1-2-5 if you have an approved omelet. Having this with that omelet, I can make a case for this being a better meal than just eating an egg white omelet. Adding that grapefruit to that egg white omelet. Very beneficial. Apples. So this is my top 3. Berries, grapefruit, and apples. Berries, grapefruit, and apples. Coconut oil is one of our approved cooking fats. And I'll ask y'all if you want another top 25 class next week, because we're not going to get through with this one today, but we could continue on and I could get into the top ice creams, the top, so on and so forth. But right now we're talking about the top 25. If y'all want top 26 through 50, let me know. We'll do that next Saturday. If you're enjoying the class and you find it helpful. And then you got category 6. We're going to stop with this today because we'll be at 18 and we've went overtime and I want to answer questions. Category 6, hemp hearts. Y'all know how I feel about hemp hearts. The inside of a hemp seed. To me, from a weight loss standpoint, egg white or hemp heart is probably the best from a weight loss and wellness standpoint. In fact, I think if you said somebody asked me this one time, can I jump out of the information? It's not going to make sense to you. But a woman asked me one time, Sasha and I was seeing one another, and a friend of mine, 10, 15 years older than me, very successful person that I developed an acquaintanceship with, then later a friendship. And she said, I said, I've been through a lot, and I just don't know. I've been through so much that I don't know if I'll ever marry again. And she said, you shouldn't, unless, she said, if you find somebody that, if you can answer yes to this question, if you find this person, then maybe you should. But you should not until you find this person. Ask yourself this question. If you are going to be put on a deserted island with no people, a deserted island with no people, but you had the option of bringing one person that was willing to that island to be with you, willing to be with you on that, just one, and you'd have to be on that deserted island the rest of your days with that one person, would it be Sasha? And I said, heck yeah. Heck yeah. I don't know if she could say yes, but I said, heck yeah. She said, well, you may need to get married, because it's a rare find to find out. There's a lot of people I love. I like to see them come, and I like to see them go. I'm just a truthful person. I love them, but sometimes liking them might be a little difficult. So she asked me that question. Well, here's what I got to say. If you put me on an island with Sasha and she wanted to be there, she probably wouldn't want to be there. But if she wanted to be there, and you said you can only have only two foods to sustain you as long as you're here, you can only pick two, I'd be picking for wellness over enjoyment. Because even if I picked something for enjoyment, I'd get tired of it. And I can only have two. I'd pick a whole egg, and I'd pick hemp hearts. And I would live my healthiest and best life with whole eggs and hemp hearts. That's how much I believe in hemp hearts. Number two would be chia seeds. Hemp seeds are category 6. And it's the difference between hemp hearts and hemp flakes are negligible. Hemp heart's a little better for you, but a few more calories. So category 6 is superfood. Hemp hearts, chia seed would be my number 2 pick. You don't hear us talk about them much, but they're so high in protein and good fibers and good fats. Chia seed would be number 2. And then pistachios. Why in the world would I choose pistachios over almonds? Very simple, because you can have more of them. The rules of the program state I can have 1 handful of almonds as a snack or 2 handfuls of almonds as a meal. And it's that way with most nuts and seeds. I chose pistachios because I can have 2 handfuls as a snack in the shell, 2 handfuls as a snack, or 3 handfuls as a meal. And if you do the math and you got 3 heaping handfuls of pistachios in the shells and you pull all them pistachios out, it's a lot more portion than you would get with just almonds. And that's all I've got for you today. So we went over the top 18. I'm out of time. And I want to spend at least 5-10 minutes for those that need me here to personalize something for them or answer questions. And you can let me know in Facebook and in the Zoom app if you want to see the top 9. I'm going to finish up next Saturday before we start 19 through 25. And if you want the next class to be 26 through 50, I'll do that. Okay. But this was my first top 18. All right, any questions? Let's see, I've got questions. What about coconut oil instead of MCT? Coconut oil is not as good for you as MCT oil. Of course, it's approved on the program. One of the things in the past I found when I start listing the top foods, all of a sudden people go, oh, so some of them other foods that we have aren't good for us. I'm not saying that. There's thousands of good for you foods on planet Shibboleth. The difference between MCT oil and coconut oil is profound, though. even though coconut oil is approved and is fine. But it's only 66% MCTs. MCTs have little to no propensity to wind up on the body as body fat, where long-chain triglycerides have a high propensity to wind up on the body as body fat, and coconut oil is only 66% MCT. Hope that makes sense. But it is fine. We can continue next week for sure. Did this help? Category 6, it depends a little bit, but for the most part, Category 6, hemp. Now, keep in mind on the website, you have the descriptions and the portions allowed. If you're having hemp hearts or chia seed as your primary protein source, you're having a 6+2, then you should have 3 to 5 tablespoons, 3 to 5. Pistachios, 2 handfuls is a snack, 3 handfuls is a meal. If you're talking about all category 6s like black beans, pinto beans, then you're looking at about a cup. If you go to a cup and a half, you start talking about maintenance rather than weight loss. But all of the descriptions are at myshibboleth.com in the food library if you have a specific one that you're concerned about. What is the portion of egg whites if you're eating them alone? The thing that you should always do is follow the portion rule when in doubt, 2-hand rule over the plate. So if I got egg whites and I'm in doubt, I just put my hands together, put both my clasped fingers together right over the egg whites, and if they're not piled up any thicker than the thickest part of my hand, it's no problemo. So I follow my portion rule. Maybe I put them on a 6-inch plate. Bottom line is this. You're never going to eat too many egg whites. So that's an exception to our normal Category 1 rules, correct? But you're never going to eat too many egg whites. There's nothing in an egg white that can turn to body fat, ever, never. Unless you cooked them in an unapproved oil. Or they're all approved oils, but unless you cook them in butter, unless you cook them in olive oil, vegetable oil, you don't really have to worry about them. If they're cooked in MCT oil or coconut oil, I wouldn't have them as a freebie. If you cook egg whites in a cooking spray or boiled egg whites, it's not an issue. It's not an issue. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, you don't have to eat grapefruit. You probably are on a prescription, Sharon, that says if you're on some prescriptions, you can't have citrusy foods. So I'd go with berries. If you can't have a grapefruit, you probably can't have other citrus foods either because of the acid. Oatmeal, I'm not a big fan for weight loss. I'm not a big fan of oatmeal. I know a lot of people are. I'm not a fan. It is approved. As far as instant oatmeal on regular Shibboleth, weight control oatmeal is approved. One package is a Category 2+3. So I could have egg whites and weight control oatmeal from Quaker. Regular oats, steel cut oats, tremendous as it relates to oatmeal. I like the fake oatmeal that I eat. If you will, a fake oatmeal. It's got a little oatmeal in there, but it's mostly whey protein. It's from Healthwise, and it's very beneficial. It's a coach mode meal, -3 meal. It's Healthwise, or some people call it Shibboleth, but we don't make it. But the high protein oatmeal, yeah, I eat that all the time by itself, but it has very few oats in it. But you still get the flavor of oatmeal because I used to like oatmeal. But oats in general are not the best weight loss food. But they're approved. There's no deal breakers on Planet Shibboleth as long as you eat them in the right combination and in the right portion. What's the best way to make quinoa? I love it. It's just like rice. I cook it in a rice cooker, and I love it. I love to have a 1/4 cup up to a 1/2 cup of cooked quinoa with my fish laying over it, my little cod fish laying over it. Quinoa is actually a 2+3, and it's really good for you. It's a great rice replacement. Any dish you would use rice, you've improved the dish if you use quinoa instead of rice. I love it with salsa in it. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Melissa. Melissa says Healthwise oatmeal is good. Nursing, what can I have extra besides freebies? Bigger portions like meal portions. I don't know why one would do that. I don't know why you would want to do that. Nursing, your body being able to provide milk means your body being healthy. And if the female body needs 3 meals a day, and they need to be nutrient packed and nutrient dense meals. The only thing that I would suggest is adding a condiment portion of hemp hearts to your meals to help with your production of milk. But I've never understood why a nursing mother would want to increase portions and eat more when 3 healthy meals per day gives your body all the nutrition that it needs to produce mother's milk. Explain the -2 and 3, or is that category 2 and 3? -2 and 3, I just did a class on the weight loss meter that's being uploaded. Finally, we got through what was wrong with that video, and it's being uploaded today into the website. So, Catherine, that would be a long class, and it was, but we've done and provided the weight loss meter class that will be in the library. In short, I rate foods based on their weight loss potential, not their wellness potential. So to understand, if you see different ratings on these foods in the library and your favorite one wasn't here, I did today based upon weight loss, wellness, and practicality. So there are better foods as far as weight loss meter than what we went over today. But in the website, these foods are rated with anywhere from a +3 to a -3. -3 is the best weight loss rating. And as you go up, -2, -1, they're still good, but they're not as good. 0 means won't hurt you, but won't help you. +1, +2, +3 mean this is going to start to hurt you if you overdo it. This is my first time hearing you. Enjoyed the information. Thank you so much. Much of what I used to lose weight previously. Very interesting to hear more about eating in correct combinations. That's the magic, Kathy. It really is. Controlling our body chemistry through proper food combining. Air fryer with MCT. I have to confess, y'all are hard to keep up with, and I have not tried an air fryer at this time. So I would be speaking, I'll try to learn more about air fryers because MCT oil does have a medium smoke point, and I don't know much about air fryers at this time. I'd have to look into that. I've seen more and more y'all using air fryers. I've been told it's a healthy way to cook, but I don't know anything about adding oils or anything like that to those at this time. If there's somebody else that has used MCT in one, then they can chime in here. I just don't know if it's going to make it smoke or what. So I'd have to get into that and understand it. Thank you, Carrie. It means a lot. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Is Celsius every day instead of coffee too much carbs? Celsius does not have, it has negligible amount of carbs, so it's not an issue. The only times that carbs are an issue with coffee is if you're adding sweeteners that are sugar laden. No water replacements, really. If you'll drink water, you should drink water. You can also have any zero calorie beverage, but they should not count as your water unless you refuse to drink water. And since there's no deal breaker, if you want to wash your internal organs with Crystal Light in place of water, you can do that, but we don't love it. So you just got to choose based upon what you will do over what you won't do. If it's 0 calories, it's 0 calories. Water's best. What category is deer meat? Venison. If there's been no fat added at the processor, we just go on and make this simple. It's a category 1. If your ground venison's had fat added to it, it needs to be treated as a category 4. I brush my fish in MCT and use the air fryer, no issues. Good information. So for the person asking, Polly's asking MCT. Oh, Polly and CHE, it's probably Cheryl, are telling this person that they use MCT oil in their air fryer, works fine. So that's terrific news. What about taking Metamucil? I'm not a fan. But let me say this. I don't treat, cure, diagnose, prescribe. That's your doctor's job. I'm just a little lowly weight loss wellness coach doing my best to help you live a lifestyle that's healthy and well. I'm sure your doctor, if he's seen this list today, would say go for it. But he might be prescribing Metamucil. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I just don't think, I think it's unnecessary if one drinks their water, one gets their walking in, and one consumes adequate amounts of category 2s or hemp hearts and hemp flakes. Given time, your body's able to go to the bathroom the way it should. But you have to give it time for these foods to work. They're not, food isn't an overnight miracle worker. It takes consistency. But if you want to do Metamucil because your doctor's told you to, go for it. Health-wise, hot chocolate okay in coffee? Absolutely, anytime, all the time. I love it. You're just adding a protein source to your coffee, and it's a good one. Yes, MCT oil also will help with regularity. Sure does. Sure does. By the way, while I'm still reading questions and we're going into overtime, if there's anyone that would like a walking challenge, you have a Fitbit or some reliable step tracking mechanism, I'm willing tomorrow to go live and put forth a walking challenge for the week if we have interest in it. It would be a walking challenge with there being some prizes attached. It would be free, but if that's something you'd like to do to help you get focused in walking next week, we'll do that. I'll do that live video tomorrow, but I need enough participation. What about the Bai coconut water, 5 calories per serving? Lisa, that's already in the food library as an approved beverage. So it's already there. It's very much approved. Is the vitamin zero water as good as water with the extra nutrients in it? I don't think anything's better than pure water or alkaline water, but you can certainly do it. It's no trouble. I mean, it's probably just as good if it's 0 calories. Water's water. The website for the eating plan is www.myshibboleth.com. I'll type that in for you. Could somebody on Facebook type that in for me so I don't have to pick up the phone? www.myshibboleth, we say shibboleth, myshibboleth.com. We're a ministry first and foremost, www.myshibboleth.com. A lot of people see the price and say, well, I thought it was a scam because it's so cheap. It's not a scam, I promise. We're just a ministry first and foremost, trying to cover our expenses so we can keep doing this. But otherwise, we just want to help people. Bless the name of the Lord. Bio coffee is not a meal. Up to 2 bio coffees can be a snack. Question was, is bio coffee a meal? Thank you, Melissa. Melissa has typed the right address, so has Paula. Thank you. Could not do this without our members. Yeah, if you have a way to report your steps, even if it's a screenshot of an app, I think that will be fine. But let's keep it to walking, not biking and other things. We're going to award prizes. So we're going to have if there's enough interest and y'all message me enough today, I'll go live some point after church tomorrow, and we'll outline the details of our walking challenge. Believe it or not, walking is the best exercise if you're eating the Shibboleth style for fat loss, and it also will help you become regular. It does. Got to shake it loose sometimes, y'all. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. This lifestyle it's a blessing from the Lord, I believe. www.myshibboleth.com, and you'll see testimonies on the homepage, videos. If you need more testimonies, medical testimonies, just let us know. We'll get those to you. We have thousands of them. Again, not our doing, but I just happen to be the first one to do it. And the Lord just blessing us all. Bio Coffee, you can get it almost anywhere online that sells nutritional products. We hope you'll support us so you can get it in our e-store. But we try to carry stuff that can be found anywhere. We just hope you'll support us when you can. It helps us stay, keep doing what we're doing. Members get a 20% discount off almost everything in the e-store, including Bio Coffee. And it's fresh. So a lot of times, I'm not knocking them because I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon too, but a lot of times they have such a large SKU of items, they don't move it enough, and you get it in and it's expired. So watch out for that. Make sure what you're getting out there isn't expired. We had somebody bring back expired stuff the other day, come to find out they got it from Amazon, and want to know why we couldn't exchange it. We can't. We just can't. Thank you, Christy. Thank you. Thank you. Not really. Coffee is very beneficial. Coffee is very beneficial in and of itself when you don't use sugar-laden sweeteners and creamers. It's different. Bio coffee is different. Bio coffee doesn't have caffeine, and bio coffee has wheatgrass in it. It helps with regularity. Gives you that coffee void replacement, helps with regularity, helps your body stay in an alkaline environment. It's just different. Coffee's acidic, doesn't help with alkalinity, but caffeine has weight loss promoting benefits. So it's just whichever one you want. Judy says no to walking. Okay. Tastes good. Bio coffee tastes good. Everybody's different. Not one taste for everybody. Everybody's different. I would say 80% of the people that consume bio coffee for the first time love it. 20% hate it. My website, I'm being asked again, is www. Let me type it right for you in the Zoom app. myshibboleth.com. Oh, Judy's got a tear in her hip. Yeah, don't need to be walking right now. Just need to be eating exercise on a plate. Michelle says, I don't like coffee, but I love bio coffee. It's good for you. Maximum Spark Daily. That's a tough one too, because I don't follow my own suggestions here. I would say 1 is best, up to 3. Don't go beyond 3. Too much caffeine. 1 is probably best. 1 a day has lots of benefits. 2 a day benefits. 3 a day, you start counteracting the benefits because of the overconsumption of the caffeine that's in it. If you're giving it to someone under 18, I suggest getting some Ocean Spray Diet or something like that and mixing only a half a serving of Spark with it. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, there is an approved list of restaurants. The key with the restaurants is we do have a restaurant library with approved items for people who just want to be told what to have at a restaurant. But with the knowledge base that we teach in class, you can go to any restaurant because you can pick out your own food combinations at any restaurant, right? So every restaurant's approved. Even Mickey D's. Once you know how to combine foods, right? It's all about the number of perfect days you have in a month, though, y'all. It's about having the 22, 24 perfect days a month will knock that fat off your body. There is an app. There is a Shibboleth Journal app. Shibboleth Journal app has a journal, a food library, a restaurant library, a recipe library. it does no good for a non-member to download it because you have to have your Shibboleth username and API for security purposes to access the app. We are about to release a fast track app too, with the fast track class and fast track combinations. But yes, there's a Shibboleth journal app. Wendy's chili is, Melissa, very good for you. Can you discuss apple cider vinegar when taking medications? I cannot, because you're talking about, I wished I could, Debbie, and I could give you my viewpoints, but I think I'd be stepping out of my boundaries, and your health is too important to me. I am not, and none of our coaches should ever give you advice concerning medications with any food, any supplement. So I just cannot. That could really bite the program. You need to talk to your physician about that. It depends on your health history and depends on your medications and your doctor's philosophies. So I'm sorry. I'd like to, but I just can't. I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified. I don't have any problem finding fat-free cheese, but I keep hearing that people do. So, you may want to go with the category 4 cheese, like Cabot, Extra Light. They have one, Sargento reduced fat cheeses. You may have to go with those. They're in every grocery store, Sargento reduced fat. But I just haven't had a problem finding them. Either Walmart has a fat-free cheese, Kroger brand has a fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese. There's a lot of them. So I haven't had a problem, not to say you haven't, but you might want to go with a category 4 cheese, and there's several of those. That way you can still have it as a condiment, and you can still have your grilled cheese with a category 2 bread. Anybody else? Yeah, apple cider vinegar, you don't really want to take it straight. I used to do that, and I started having my esophagus just got where it burned all the time. And I know when you do it straight, it burns, but I wasn't thinking about that. Mine got where it burned all the time. And I talked to somebody at that company, and they said mix it with something because it's very acidic. So I started mixing it with Ocean Spray Diet. I mix it with Ocean Spray Diet. Drink it out of a wine glass. Makes me think I'm having a glass of wine with health benefits. Anybody else? Ingles fat-free slices. Laura Lynn is very good. Yep. Yeah, you can even do it with a Coke if you want to. Bragg's apple cider vinegar. And you could opt for the second best, which would be the apple cider vinegar capsules. Then you don't get that burn, you get the benefits. Marcella, there's a video somewhere in the library, about an hour-long video, goes over the benefits of apple cider vinegar. But it promotes thermogenesis, it promotes fat loss. It's a great tonic and elixir. Helps the body remain in an alkaline state because it's so acidic. The body works really hard to get back in the proper pH and overcompensates. And there's just a lot of good benefits with apple cider vinegar. Gets rid of ringworm, gets rid of plantar warts. It's just an amazing product. I love it. Anybody else before we go? What weight loss vitamins do you have in the store that would be best? Oh, I'd love to toot my own horn and say Zero Drag. Zero Drag Vitamins Plus Pro. I think it's probably the best from an economic plus quality situation. It's not one of those throwaway cheap ones, but it's still affordable and is loaded. It's packed, jam-packed. Zero Drag Vitamins Plus Pro. Has probiotics in it, prebiotics, vegetables. It's good. But it can't compete with Advocare metabolic nutrition system or Coreplex. Those are going to be a little more expensive, but those are my two recommendations: Advocare or Zero Drag. I'm fond of both of those. Yes, apple cider vinegar helps with cramps. It's so inexpensive you don't hear it talked about in wellness and medical circles, but it's because they can't make money off of it. It's a beautiful product. Gives energy, certainly. I'll even, if I feel a stomach bug coming on, I'll double up on it. If I eat sushi, I always, when I get done eating sushi, get me a swig of apple cider vinegar. It's just a wonderful tonic. Anybody else? You could drink it in water. You could drink apple cider vinegar in water. Put you a tablespoon up to 3 tablespoons in water, mix it up, have at it. I like it in Ocean Spray diet. Anybody else? Thank you, Connie. God bless you. I ain't done nothing. I just done what's my reasonable service. It's my reasonable service. Jennifer's asking, are there any warnings or interactions with ACV? You need to talk to your doctor. You need to talk to your doctor. Your doctor will know your health history, and I don't want to stumble here and tell you something that could be harmful or hurtful to you. So when you start talking about interactions, talk to your doctor. I'm sorry. I wish I could help you and be a one-stop shop, and I probably could, but I would be an unqualified person giving you that information. Can I count my daily 16-ounce black coffee towards my daily half a gallon of water? No, absolutely not. No, cannot. Coffee has got caffeine in it. That's a mild diuretic. You can't. Sorry. Sometimes, even though I can come up with a solution for you, that's one I just can't say yes to. There are many salad dressing recipes with apple cider vinegar. One is Italian. I think you know that, though. You're probably trying to help everybody else, Carrie. Yes, you can have MCT oil mixed with apple cider vinegar and Italian seasoning as an Italian salad dressing. Anybody else before I go? Is there a printout on the site for the vitamins that I could take to the doctor? I'm not sure about that, but what you could do, Connie, thank y'all all for your kind comments. It's been good for me today to see so many turn out. Is there a printout for the site? All you'd have to do, if you will, Connie, if you're in the members only group, tag us and ask the question. Probably one of our great members will get you the information. And just say, I need a printout of the nutrition label for the vitamins. You can go to Advocare and get theirs. I'm not sure the nutrition label's on the website, but somebody on our team would be happy to get it to you Monday morning. Anybody else? All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Look for me tomorrow. Looks like we got a little interest in the walking challenge. Look for me tomorrow to go live sometime after church. I will notify everybody through text, and we'll try to put together a great walking challenge for next week. All right. Until then, y'all pray for me, pray for my home, and I'll be praying for you and your home. God bless you.